Hey everybody, welcome to the White Van Podcast. My name's Gabriel.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And so are you ready for World War III?
I'm ready. I'm getting people recruited right now to go in there so I don't have
to. Did you just hear what happened? It was a breaking news. Apparently Iran launched
missiles, right?
60 rockets were launched at a joint Iraq-U.S. base that hosts American soldiers. Yeah. ABC News says Iran launches missiles at U.S. military facilities in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wonder where this is going to lead to now. You know? And I want to know how Trump's going to handle that.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing, I think, is like all the media behind it is crap. You know, because they have like, what is it? We have the attack on the Baghdad embassy.
Mm-hmm.
Trump responds, and the media makes it sound like Trump instigated everything. Like, I gotta say, as far as Trump goes, he's less of a war guy than Obama was. Like, Obama sent a lot of drones into places that we shouldn't, like into Yemen, right? He did drone strikes into there. He did tons of drone strikes. And Trump has really like pulled back on a lot of that stuff. But he's more of, yeah, you mess with me type of attitude, and I'll hit you. It's kind of like, you punch me, I'll punch you back, right, and break your nose. Mm-hmm. You give me a bloody lip, I'll blow your whole face type of attitude. Mm-hmm. Kind of that New York type of attitude. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that he blows something up.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the next move is. And people are freaking out like there's going to be a draft that's going to happen. There's not going to be a draft.
No.
We didn't even have a draft for the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Why do you think we're going to have one for Iraq?
We didn't have the draft for Desert Storm.
No.
We haven't had a draft since
Vietnam.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we had one for Vietnam.
Should have just won that war.
So I had some friends message me.
You coming?
Yeah, they're like, "You guys ready for World War III?" Like, like we're just gonna. And it wasn't like, let's join back in the army again. It's just like, let's go, guys. We're just hopping on a plane and going.
Just grab your ARs.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it seemed like, and it was kind of comical, So it's interesting now to be seeing this after getting out.
Yeah.
And I scared my fiance. I was like, "Hey, babe, so you ready for World War III?" She goes, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're possibly going to get into a war with Iran here soon, And I've already been starting to talk to an army recruiter." And she goes, "You're not joining back in the military." Well,
I'm of age.
Do you want to talk to him too with me? She did not like. She didn't appreciate that.
Oh, I bet not. Jeez.
Oh,
man.
Yeah. So.
Well, what's interesting is like, I didn't finish the article, but it was talking about how like, when that one guy, I forget his name, Salami. I don't know his name. It's Soleima.
No, that's close enough.
Salami. Anyways, when he was killed, it said stuff like within Syria, people had been wanting him killed. Like the Syrians had been wanting him to kill because he was the one that was kind of coordinating with Assad and doing a lot of that stuff, and so they wanted him dead. And
a lot of chemical attacks, right? I think it was
a bunch of stuff. He was the almost like the liaison from Iran to Syria, and he was basically kind of coaching Assad. That's at least what the article was saying. And there was some stuff in there like the Russians didn't like him doing that kind of stuff because I guess they were like doing things they didn't want done. You know, it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna help you out. And then some moron does something. He's like, it's not good enough. We're trying not to, you know.
Yeah, be a terrorist, but not too much of a terrorist.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that terrorist.
Right.
You know, like that guy. You know, it's like, just don't be that terrorist. Yeah. Just because you see something doesn't mean you have to start shooting at it.
Right.
You know.
But, yeah, so when he died, I guess there was some rumblings within Russia, like, good. You know, so I don't know. This whole idea of World War III with Iran just doesn't make sense to me. You know, because all of the Arab world basically hates Iran. You know, because they're what are they? I think they're Shia. I gotta remember which one was which. I think they're Shia. Let me look it up.
Well, I know. Because you have the Hamas terrorist group there.
Right.
So,
but Hamas that's in Palestine.
Oh.
Palestinians.
Well, he funded Hamas, didn't he?
I don't know. Like, because there's a bunch of different factions, right? Mm-hmm. Within the group.
Well, I know Iran and Palestine, they're buddies. So you get in war with Iran, you're gonna get in war with Palestine.
Yeah, but really, like seriously, if Palestine mess with Israel, like really mess with them.
Oh, they've already did.
Yeah.
Remember the 6-Day War? Did you ever read up on that?
Yeah, but that's not Palestine. That was with Jordan and.
That was Egypt, Syria.
That was a bunch of them.
And that was like all of them, essentially all of them, except for Israel. And Israel kicked all their butts.
Right.
So I'm sure we can do the same thing.
Well, yeah. What is going on with all of this? I have like a whole teaching on Islam, and the whole thing just went right out my head, and can't even find what I'm looking for. But yeah, so what I don't know. I'm done.
Just all left your mind.
Yeah. Completely. Here we go. Yeah, the Sunnis. So Saudi Arabia is the Sunnis, right? Mm-hmm. And they're the largest one. And the Shia, or Shiite, depending on how you want to say it, they're the Iranians. Like, that's their main group. And so already the Saudi Arabians don't like them. And the Jordanians don't like them. Most of the Muslim world doesn't like Iran. In fact, that's why they were having wars. That's why they were attacking Arabia. That's why when Saddam Hussein was in power, they would have wars between Iraq and Iran.
Yeah, but when you have that central enemy, it's like, all right, guys, we're putting away our differences.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like,
no, I'm saying like
World War III type of atmosphere.
Well, I mean, if there's like that, like, oh, they're fighting Iran, well, we might as well get involved too, you know.
Well, but Saudi Arabia won't.
No?
No, they would be on our side. Yeah, because they don't like Iran. I mean, it's not like... So, I think it was Saudi Arabia. It might have been Jordan. They built a massive wall. I mean, massive wall to keep out ISIS. Yeah, this thing's huge. Okay, they built this in 2014. It's 550 miles long.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was in response to ISIS. And this is, I mean, you want to talk about a wall. This is a wall.
Israel's got a wall too, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it bigger than theirs?
I don't know. I would have to look it up.
Is it longer than the Great Wall?
I don't know. How long is the Great Wall?
I don't know.
This is 500 and something. But yeah. Okay, the Great Wall of China, 2,000 years old, 13,000 miles. No, it's not even close.
Oh no, that's definitely not as close. Wow, 13,000 miles.
That's a big wall.
I didn't think it was that long.
Israel's wall is 400 miles long.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, so I mean this wall is huge, right? But yeah, so they built this wall to help against ISIS is what they did. I guess it's called the Great Wall of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, 560 miles along the border of Iraq. So, I mean, it's huge. So, Saudi Arabia and Iraq are like this, right? Iraq is actually above Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
And then the only thing between them, then it goes Iran to the east. And Iran's a huge country comparatively. I mean, it's like almost the same size as Saudi Arabia. But all that's stopping Iran into Saudi Arabia is Iraq. So Iraq is kind of like this buffer between Saudi Arabia and Iran. But if there's war in Iraq with Iran, I don't think Saudi Arabia would stay out of it and join Iran. It's not like they're friends, because Iran's been trying to mess with Saudi Arabian politics because they're not far left enough. Extreme.
No, I know. I know there's like this politically, there's some always issues and fighting between all the countries. But when it comes to the hatred for America, they all hate us. So when Iran starts pushing a lot more against doing a lot more attacks and really fighting back against the U.S., who are the other ones going to back up?
Right.
When that time comes. Because at the time, it was like, who's going to push the button first? Is it going to be Iran? Is it going to be Saudi? Is it going to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, It's going to be, which country is going to push that button to really get the war going in the Middle East again?
Right.
But it was always like a toss around, like a playing around it, a little bit here, a little bit there, something to get in the news media. But now we're starting to see something kicking off. And I feel like the other Middle Eastern countries are going, wait, we're doing this now? This is it, So I don't know. I feel like a few of them are going to start backing up Iran. That's just me.
Well, I'm sure there are, but I don't think it's going to be. I think Syria will, right? If that were to come, but it's really not about those countries. It's about what would the other countries in the world do, the ones that actually have military might. What will Russia do? Will Russia just kind of stay out of it? What will China do? Will China be like, this is our chance, right? Because China wants war. Like they're gearing up for it. I mean, just in the South China Sea, Australia is having problems with them, and so that's so they're looking for a fight. They're looking for someone to go against them, and actually it would be good for them, economically speaking, because right now I guess their economy is starting to tank because of the
protests.
Well, not just the protests, but from Trump's. What are they called?
Tariffs?
Yeah, from the tariffs. Like they're hurting now. So they need something to recover. So that's really the problem is what are those other countries going to do? India, I think, will be because they hate Pakistan, like vehemently hate Pakistan. So if Pakistan gets involved, we're already there.
It's going to become another World War One, where this country is friends with this country. You pick on this country,
Right.
and then it's just going to domino between other countries to fighting, and Europe's going to be backing us up.
Maybe.
You don't think so?
Well, do you see what they've started to say already?
They didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah,
it's because Trump is president.
It's because of Trump. Yeah.
If Obama was president,
oh yeah, they'd be right there.
Yeah, they'd be like, "We'll be with you guys."
Right.
But you know what Trump's gonna do? He's gonna be like, "Well, I'm gonna stop funding you guys."
That's what he should do. He should just pull out of NATO. Just be like, "Have fun, guys."
Yeah.
We'll support the British just like we've always done, and we'll take all of y'all.
Yeah.
Nuke.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if Russia was like, "All right, this is getting too much. America, let's go kick Iran's butt."
Well, they're pretty in bed with each other.
Yeah,
I think,
but I feel like Russia was kind of like, "Look, Iran, you guys getting a little too rambunctious."
Well, it might, they might throw in there and be like, "Okay, we're going to stop these guys." To kind of placate the world and look like the good guys. Walk in and be like, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna broker a peace," and they'll go, "You, like a parent with their kid, you mess around and smack you upside the head, kid. This is not okay." Because really, I mean, the reality is, look what happened when we went to Iraq, right? Did the Saudi Arabians get involved?
No.
None of those countries got involved. They're like, "Yeah, we'll probably just back off." I think that's what will happen with Iran, is the other countries that hate Iran anyways, they're going to be like, "Yeah, let's just see how this plays out. Let the Americans do our dirty work." Because then, like the Russians, they can come in there because they already have assets in there. They can just be like, "Yeah, we're going to kind of just take more control over Iran through this," and they'll play it like that. But I've seen memes that are like, if you're wearing one of these and it shows a Magna hat, you better be the first ones in line at the recruitment office.
We already are.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure those people are the most patriotic, and they either have already been in the military or they currently are.
Or doing some kind of law enforcement, and
But so, how about that?
I wonder if Canada will be with us. They were there with us in Iraq. I'm not in Iraq. Maybe I think they were in Iraq. They were there with us in Afghanistan.
No,
I saw them there.
But that's before Trudeau.
True.
And I think he
that guy's
he went back to
a weenie.
Yeah.
And say it in light terms because it's a family-friendly podcast.
You should see. Should look up Steven Crowder, Justin Trudeau. You'll crack up.
Is he going to do a good impression, or?
Oh no, just gotta see a picture of it.
Oh, okay.
He dresses up like something phallic.
I'll Google it.
But yeah, I don't know. Did you know? I don't know if you knew this, but I think it was World War II. It might have been World War One, but Germany tried to get Mexico to attack us.
I'm sorry?
So I can't remember if it was World War One or World War II, but Germany tried to get Mexico to attack us. You see the picture?
Yeah, I saw that. That is funny.
So, but anyways.
Oh, gosh.
But
My fiance's going to go my search history. What is this? Steven Crowder and Justin Trudeau.
yeah.
You were saying, though.
Yeah, so I can't remember if it was World War One or World War II. I could look it up, but I'm not. But Germany tried to get Mexico to actually attack us to help make it so we're on not just the fronts, right, that we were at, but also here at home, up front here, and it just didn't work out. Like, by the time everything got set in motion, we'd already like won at that point. So
that probably would have been 2 then.
What?
That's probably World War II.
Yeah.
You're gonna look it up.
Yeah, now I'm interested.
So it was 2 bases that were hit.
No, it was World War One.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, so so this says was it there's a telegram sent to Mexico from Germany in January 16th, 1917. It was what made America enter World War One. Was that telegram? So, but so I never want war, you know, but I don't like the idea of like our military being attacked and then us just trying to placate them, right? Because that's what happened with Iran under Obama, is they captured one of our little ships, and then they made the guys on there look ridiculous, you know, and it was to embarrass the U.S. And then
Obama didn't do shit.
And, yeah,
crap.
Yeah, watch the language.
Yeah, I know. I'm friendly.
Yeah. So I applaud Trump just for the idea of, hey, by someone attacking you, it's kind of like a bully, right? A bully attacks you and if you let them keep going, they just keep coming at you because you're an easy target. You're a mark, right? And that's the same with anything. Robbers usually don't go into places where they know they're going to find resistance, right? That's why they go in places at night. That's why they do things like buzz your doorbell, knock on your door to find out if you're home, because if you're not, then you're an easier place to break into. And so it's, you know, gun-free zones. That's why the majority of shootings happen in gun-free zones, because people that want to do harm attack people that won't respond. And it's the same thing here. If Iran attacks us and we don't respond, all that says is you can attack us again. That's all it says. I mean, think about what would have happened if, instead of responding to Pearl Harbor, what if we would just said, well, we need to go and we need to do more diplomacy? What would have that done, right?
It would have done jack crap.
Yeah, because they needed to,
and they would have just advanced more on the United States,
right? So to me, it's the same thing here. If you're like, okay, we need to pull back and show diplomacy. Well, now diplomacy is gone. It's too late for that. Now you need to show strength, and you don't need to get. The reality is, with our modern technology, we don't need to put a lot of soldiers in harm's way, right? We have a lot of drones. You can do bombings and things like that, and really, that's what they do anyways, right? They throw in advanced units like aircraft and everything, and they bomb everything, and then they send in troops, right?
It's kind of like that blitzkrieg technique the Germans did. You bomb the heck out of it, and then you start moving in.
Right. Because
why move in through the heavy stuff? You know, we can just take it out from a distance.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can do that further and further away now.
Yeah. We can do it from right here.
Yeah.
You know, and then next week move it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't want our military to be men and women or actual fighting to be in harm's way. But that, you know, that's why I think that people in the military deserve the highest respect, because that's what they signed up for in the first place. You don't sign up for the military and go, well, we're never going to get deployed. You train to be deployed. I mean, that's the reality of being in the military. It's like an electrician going, yeah, I'm an electrician, but I never use electricity. I never...
I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous. So I decide not to do it.
I know a lot about it. I'm an expert in it, but I don't like to deal with it.
Yeah, I've never actually put in anything.
Yeah.
Never done a light switch.
I'm legally a doctor, but I just don't like blood.
Yeah. Or people.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
I like to fish.
Yeah.
And play golf.
I'm a doctor, but really I like to be a butcher.
Yeah.
You make a mistake there, you move on with your life. You make a mistake as a doctor, you're screwed.
Right. So I don't want our military personnel to be in any harm's way. And at the same time, by not being in harm's way, it puts everyone else in harm's way. And that's, it's kind of like a police officer, right? I don't want a police officer to be in harm's way. I don't want a fire department, firefighter to be in harm's way. But that's part of the job. And I thank God for them because they do put themselves in harm's way. And that's that's an admirable thing. And so, but mind switching gears.
That's fine, man. What do you got?
So the Golden Globes.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of what's his name, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
Not a big fan of him. I don't like him a whole lot. I don't think he's that funny, but that was brilliant.
Yeah, that opening monologue.
That was the best thing I've ever heard him do for comedy. For just knowing him, like, from what I know of him, of his movies and from the work he's done, I'm not a big fan of who he is, but he's moved up a lot from this in my book. I was very happy about that.
Right.
And you know who liked what he did? Piers Morgan.
Really?
Yeah. He backed up Ricky Gervais.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I was like, wow, the two people I do not like at all are actually like, they understand Hollywood. Just shut up.
Right.
And I like that Netflix thing. Like, if ISIS had a Netflix show, you guys would all be calling your agents right now.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, really.
And that Epstein joke was too funny.
Yeah. It really is. There's just tons and tons of stuff. So I'm going through his Twitter. His Twitter is just on fire.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just like this one guy, Colin Quinn. It's just Ricky Gervais retweeted it, and he says, "Okay, gang, my opinion on the at Ricky Gervais fiasco, not okay. I didn't think he was right for going after Apple, Amazon, Hollywood superstars because I don't believe in punching down." So there's this idea of when you're in the media, you always punch up because that's so if you're smaller, you always punch up. You never punch down because you're on a bigger platform than the people other. And so he's saying that Ricky Gervais is higher than them. He shouldn't have been punching down. It's a joke on their expense. I thought that was pretty funny. So he's saying that they're so much lower than him that he shouldn't go after him because they're losers, and he's so much better than they are. Yeah.
People were really pissed off. Apparently, did you see Tom Hanks's face?
Yeah. He was not happy. Not happy at all.
But you know who was laughing?
What?
The guy who played Kylo Ren. What's his name?
Yeah.
He was laughing about it. And there's a funny meme where it goes, when a veteran makes a joke, when a civilian laughs, and it's Tom Hanks, and when a veteran laughs, and it's Kylo Ren's actor, laughing.
Adam Driver.
That's it. Adam Driver. Yeah. Because he was a Marine, and he probably, I don't know what his stance are with politics. and I don't care.
Yeah, I really don't.
And that's how it should be.
Right.
You know, and which I don't like him as Kylo Ren. But
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor, though.
This is funny. He said, "Welcome to the 300,000 new followers I acquired today."
300,000?
Yeah. I promise you won't like everything I say, but here's a sexy photo. And it's just this really ugly photo of him.
I'm sorry, he kept it real, you know? And because he doesn't probably want another Robert De Niro to go up there and F you, Trump.
Yeah, well, I think what it is he's one of these people. I'm pretty, no, I might be misspeaking, but he's left. I mean, he is left of center by far. Mm-hmm. He is not right at all, not conservative. But he's a comedian. I don't find like you. I don't find everything he does funny. Most of his stuff I don't find funny. But by what he was doing it was just jokes. Like he said, here's a tweet from him. He says, "I always knew that there were morons in the world that took jokes seriously, but I'm surprised that some journalists do. Surely understanding stuff is pretty fundamental to their job, isn't it? Just makes it funnier, though, I guess." You know, and so it's this idea that, look, he probably agrees 99% with everyone in that room on their politics. But he was going for the laughs. That's his job.
Well, and you know what? I don't know. The ending seemed more truth. Like, get your award. Don't use it as a political statement. Get your award. Thank your God. And get off. You know? That seemed like more of a statement than a... Like he was being serious about it.
Right.
Rather than joking. Like, even though it was joking to make the mood light about him being serious about it, but it seemed like he was being serious. Like, stop. We need to go back to how we were doing the awards show and not just coming up here talking about how we're bashing Trump.
Right. Well, I think it's like, I can't remember the comedian, but they were talking about Trump and all the jokes at his expense. And they were saying things like, you go after Trump and that's easy. It's easy to go after Trump. I mean, and then the guy's like, look at him. There are so many things you can make fun of him for. That's not funny. Norm Macdonald. McDonald, I think his name is. Someone went after Christians, right? And he was on like this comedy show where it was kind of like a Americans Got Talent type of show. And the guy was making fun of Christians. And he just sat there and looked at him and said, "That's not funny. It's easy to go after Christians. Go after a Muslim. Go after these other people. That is comedy. When you go after people that people don't want you to go after, that's when it's comedy." Because he got in big trouble in the 90s with O.J. Simpson. Because he would go after him every single night or every single SNL. And he would go after him and hard after him. Like an Epstein thing, It's one of those things where you just keep bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. And that's why he got fired from SNL, is because they told him, don't bring it up anymore. And then he went out there and brought it up because he's like, no one's talking about it. And people are laughing, And so you go after those things. And so, yeah. But I think that's what he did, is he's like, no one goes after you, people, so let's go after you. Even though he agrees with their politics, And it did seem like he was being like honest. Like he was saying, it's the last time, I don't care. Right? So I think it was his way of saying, look, I'm not going to hold back my jokes. And I'm going to go after you people. And there's a lot and I think he was going after the whole, like, there's one thing that someone tweeted out. There's the Guardian newspaper.
We probably hated how soft Hollywood's gotten.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, look at, like, he can't even make jokes like that without Hollywood freaking out on him. He did that back in the 90s or early 2000s, and they would have laughed. You know what I mean?
Well, it wouldn't be this, but it wouldn't be the same thing, because back then it was still underneath the rug. Now it's in everyone's face, like the Epstein stuff, the what's his name, the guy that was, that really started the Weinstein, that guy. Like, all that is in people's face. The fact that Hollywood, every single show, I mean, think about it. The only reason anyone's talking about the Golden Globes is because of him. That's it. Because no one cares about the Oscars. No one cares about the Golden Globes. No one cares about these things because it's the same thing. They get up there, they bash America, they bash now the president, or they bash conservatism, and everyone's tuning out. They're losing. And now he's like, goes after it, and everyone applauds him. Well, not everyone, obviously, but
yeah, the only people who are applauding is
the
Hollywood.
people. The people that were getting made fun of.
I wonder how many actors that were sitting in there was involved with Epstein's island.
Really? I mean, seriously.
Who was it? Did they say Kevin Hart was on his plane once?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought I heard something like there was like these like actors you hear about all the time that were it wasn't Kevin Hart, but it was like, I gotta look it up. But something came out to where a few big name actors were kind of leaked.
Well, here I got maybe
popped up my Google Chrome, and stupid Steven Crowder and popped up on my screen. I'm changing that. What was I looking up?
well, I was looking up a list of people connected, and it's just these people just went after. Basically, the majority of it was against Trump. Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker.
Yeah, so it was Chris Tucker. Excuse me.
Yeah, so far that's it.
Can't forget Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't find any more. A film publicist, Peggy Siegel. These are just people that were supposedly connected to him. But who knows?
Prince Andrew.
Yeah. But who knows, But it's just interesting that he would say some of this stuff, and people are just blowing it up. They're just and some of it, wasn't too bad. But man, some of those jokes were great. Like where he talked about he went out after the whole Emmys, I think it was Oscars, one of those. I think it might have been Oscars, where they were very upset that the majority of people were white that were nominated, right, one year. And then he talks about how they were going to do a memoriam, and how they were going to see all the people that had died this past year, but they were mostly all white. So he's like, no, we're not doing that. Not on my watch. We need more diversity. It's like, and so that's hilarious because it's attacking that idea, in a really, I think, really funny way. But yeah, I think. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's just I like how the left is eating themselves up and realizing that political correctness
Yeah.
You know. Do you have any more input on that?
Well, no, I mean, I agree with that idea of eating themselves. Did you hear AOC?
Excuse me. No.
She just came out and said something like, if we were in another country, Joe Biden and me wouldn't be in the same party. Like, she is. The Democrats right now are just destroying each other. You know, I mean, it's bad. Like when Trump and the other Republicans were running, right, and Trump would say something mean about one of the other Republicans, the media would just blow up with it. Like, oh my goodness, like he is just like destroying the other and being jerks. And yeah, I didn't like it, but nothing like what's going on now with the Democrats. I mean, they are so far left that even if you dip your toe into a moderate position, it's like a feeding frenzy on you. And Biden is not moderate. You know, he's not a moderate Democrat by any means. But she is so far gone that he looks moderate. And so it's just crazy. This guy has 13 million followers, almost 14 million followers.
Go, Ricky.
Yeah. Hey, Ricky.
So, if you want more followers, go to an award show and hit on the very topics nobody likes to discuss about.
All right. There you go. Oh, man.
So there was something I wanted to talk to you about, and I had it pulled up, and now I can't find it.
And now all you have is Steven Crowder.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing.
Okay, so switching topics again, we'll switch to movies, and you have not seen Star Wars.
No, and I was wondering, can we do it next week?
Yeah, so we're gonna try to do that next week.
That way, because I think I have a dentist appointment scheduled on Wednesday, so I'm calling off in the morning.
Okay.
So that way I'm not like, it's a long drive to go back home and stuff.
Right.
So that'd be a little bit easier on me for working the next day. But I heard it's good, and I heard it's bad. Well, you told me that. You told me it was good, and it was bad.
Yeah. So just an overall thought. I think they did everything they could do to finish it. And I don't think was a good thing. I think this movie should have been the second movie.
Do you
like take out Last Jedi, put this in there?
Would it fit just fine?
What they could have taken this movie and made 2 movies, and it would have been good. I think it would have been a satisfying end, more satisfying. I mean, they would have to tweak some things, but it'd be a more satisfying end to it, you know.
They leave it on a good note.
I mean, it left it. I mean, I like the overall movie. Like I said, I told you I missed like 20 minutes of it because one of my kids.
What parts you miss? Middle, beginning, middle, end.
It was towards the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So it was like at the end of the first act.
So you're not missing a whole lot.
I didn't miss. Yeah, I didn't miss the major parts. But I was so like trying to figure out what I missed that kind of messed me up through the rest of it. I needed to sit and actually watch it again so I can understand what was going on and what I missed. But yeah, overall I think it was a good movie and they did the best they could, you know, with what they had to work with. Because they had to deal with The Last Jedi and the conclusion of the story because they painted themselves into a trilogy box. So I mean, there's a lot of plot holes in it that it's like.
But do you think the plot holes are necessary, though?
I think they have to be in order to make you get through the movie. You know, like you have to have those plot holes, because if not, how are you going to get to the next, you know, what needs to be done? Mm-hmm. You know, because
but the previous movie sums that up, right?
Yeah, so they're coming from that and trying to do everything, and so it's like Abrams was put into a really bad situation where he's trying to do all this stuff and make everyone happy, and to me, he did the best he could, you know, and so overall, I think it's a good movie. It makes The Last Jedi more watchable because you have this. But if you would just cut out The Last Jedi, take this film, cut it in two, and allow the parts to actually work themselves, then it would have been a heck of a lot better.
So is it better than 1 or 2?
I think it's
better than
2.
Better than Attack of Clones.
Yeah, I think it's better than Attack of the Clones.
That's good because I hated the Attack of Clones.
Yeah, and that's the only reason. Because to me, it goes Last Jedi is like it's not even in. It shouldn't even be compared into the movies. But it would go Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones,
Phantom Menace.
Probably
No. It's
it might be
7.
Yeah, it might be. What is that movie called? Like, oh my gosh, I can't.
What, the 7th movie?
Yeah,
I know what it's called. Do you know what it's called?
I just lost it.
Yeah, I can't believe you forgot what that was,
Oh,
Jay.
my goodness.
It's the 7th movie. How do you not know?
But anyways, yeah,
I forgot what it was too.
Yeah, episode 7, and then it would be Phantom Menace, and then it would be. It's like a Dawn of New Hope. It's like I don't know.
Dawn of New Hope.
Dawn of New Hope. The Force Awakens. There we go. The Force Awakens. I knew it. See,
they're good names.
They are good names, and I like the idea of The Last Jedi. I like, this. It would have been okay. I can't wait to talk to you about this because I want to tell you my thought of how this could have worked. With the idea of The Last Jedi. Like, I like that idea, and I think it really would have been an Empire Strikes Back type of story if they would have taken the second movie, or this last movie, and split it in two. I think it would have been, like, great. Like, really great how they could have done this. Even keeping, like, ideas from The Last Jedi. Like, being able to keep that. So yeah.
But no, I'm happy to get to see it and finish it off. I'm just sad it had to be this way.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm excited. I can't wait to watch this film.
Right.
You know, I'm excited to watch the end of Star Wars. It just sucks it has to be this way.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
really,
that's what it feels like.
Really, yeah. You're putting down the dog. I mean, it really is.
You know, like you love your dog so much, but it mauled that lady to death, and she gotta do it.
Right.
You know, it's the way to go. Star Wars. You had a great franchise going, and then Disney, you kind of killed it.
Yeah. I know. But
I heard Mandalorian's good though.
I heard that too. I heard that's really good.
Have you not seen it yet?
I saw like bits and pieces.
We talked about this on the way home from Parker that
Mm-hmm.
one time, but you haven't sat down and saw yet.
No.
I'm not gonna get Disney Plus.
Yeah, I haven't. My father-in-law had it, and so the kids have seen it, like, you know, different episodes. They weren't that interested in it, which is weird because the kids right now, they're going through the Clone Wars, like the animated series. And I gotta say, Clone Wars is probably the best Star Wars next to the original trilogy.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the lore type of stuff that's in there. Just this okay, the Clone Wars animated show makes a better viewing of what is it, Rise of the Sith, or what
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Like, it makes Revenge of the Sith make so much sense. Like that, it's that good.
Because when I was at your place and your kids were watching, I was seeing General Grievous running around, and they were trying to, stop him, and which is interesting, because I wasn't expecting seeing lore in between 2 and 3, because that takes place between 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
To finding out more, do you find out more about him?
Oh yeah, you find out who he is and where he comes from.
Really?
Yeah. So he's like this soldier, this warrior, and he tries to basically augment himself to becoming a better soldier. Like, he doesn't, and that's why he doesn't have the Force. Like, he doesn't use the Force at all. But he's such a good soldier that he's able to wield a lightsaber.
Wow.
So, and that's why he's so deadly. So he's not a robot, but so you learn about that. It was really interesting, but it makes the arc of Anakin make sense. Like, because you go from 1 to 2, and it's kind of like, wow, 10 years have passed, and he's kind of this whiny brat, right? But then you go from 2 to 3, which is like 5 or 6 years or something like that.
You get this darker side.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's like super dark. Like, yeah, in the last movie, he killed a bunch of sand people, and that could make you dark. But in this one, I mean, he goes dark. But like, can I spoil something for you?
Yeah, from the TV show.
Yeah, from the TV show.
Yeah, that's fine.
So he towards the end of right before episode 3, it's he has through this time, he becomes a Jedi Knight, and he's so he just throws himself into war, and so the Jedi Council give him a Padawan, right? And the whole purpose of it is so that he would think more of strategy, think more of making sure that person's learning and safe, through this war. And it does that. It kind of makes him kind of sit back and think more strategically. Because before he would just go in and just decimate things because he's such a good, Force user and warrior. At the end of the series, her name's Ahsoka, and she gets accused of detonating a bomb at the Jedi Council and at the Jedi Temple, and he doesn't believe it. Like, he is just like, no, she didn't do it, and everything. And so he actually finds the person who actually did it, and he, gets her justified in this thing. But the Jedi Council turn their backs on her. Like, they're like, yeah, you did it. And so then they turn her over to the Senate for war crimes. And Anakin's ticked. Like, he's really mad at the council, right? And so then he goes and finds them and everything. And when she comes back, the council's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to count this as your Jedi Knight test, because the Force works in mysterious ways, right? It's kind of a cop-out almost. Like, sorry, we screwed up. Here's your Knight status.
Really?
Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm not joining back with the Jedi Order. And she walks off, and he gets pissed. Not at her, but at the Jedi Council, right? And he runs out there and he talks to her, and she's like, I'm walking away, and all this stuff. And he goes, I know what it means to want to walk away. And you just see this hatred in him. And it's crazy because in this, while he was looking for people, he was force choking people. Like, he was going after it. And it makes sense why he is so against the Jedi council.
Wow. Wow, no, that
Yeah,
That makes it understanding more that he went ahead and did what he did.
right.
Of course, maybe not killing the kids, but
Well, when he gets and he's like, the emperor wants him on the council, and then they reject him. They're like, yeah, you can be on the council, but we're not giving you the status as master. And then he's like, yeah, like it adds to, well, he's already pissed at him. He's already wanting to take him out. And then in this situation, he just, now he's like rejecting him. And what's crazy is in that episode, the person that did the bombing is actually right. Because they're like, the Jedi have lost their way. We're actually fighting for the dark side, and the reality is she's right. Because they're fighting for the emperor before he's the emperor, and doing all this stuff and being coordinated. And so it's really an interesting, I think it's 2 or 3 episode arc. Just really good. And then because of that, in the next animated series, Rebels, Ahsoka meets Vader and they fight. And it's a phenomenal battle, because not only is it a good battle, but it's also she breaks open his helmet and she's like, Anakin. And he speaks to her as Anakin, and then instantly turns back to Vader and attacks her. Oh. Yeah, it's an intense, because if you follow it and then you have that.
Oh, it's moment, after 3.
Yeah, so it's after 3 before 4.
So how did she? So when did she die?
I don't know. I don't think they've killed her yet. So
when does she appear? Is she just this lost Jedi throughout the whole story?
Yeah. So she has a book. I've done. So we have the audio book, and so it kind of tells how she escapes Order 66, and it was actually one of her. One of the clone troopers, because she comes back to help at the end of the war, and one of the clone troopers actually, because they all have this chip in their brain, and so that's what makes them turn. That's what gives them the Order 66. He had taken his out, and so I believe that's what happened, and then helped her get out, and then made it look like she had been killed, right? And then she goes on, she's running and running and running, and eventually she becomes a kind of a helper at the beginning of the Rebels, to start building up the resistance or the Rebels. And then she fights Vader. I think she fights him at two times, but she's never dies. And so she's alive at the end of Rebels, and that's where you leave it. So, which is right before 4. She it ends the story of her story. So I don't know what happens to her afterwards.
So well, that's stupid.
But there's a scene that in the last one, right, the Rise of Skywalker, that some people said you can hear her voice, and so she might have died sometime.
Yeah, she would have been really old then.
Yeah, I mean, she would have been. I mean, that's 30 years after, right, or something like that.
Well, she's not human.
Yeah, she's I forget what they are, but they have horns.
Yeah, they go down her shoulders, right, or behind her. Is it behind her, or does it go down?
I think both. I think. Oh. Just look it up.
I would. I don't know. I like her story more. Just from what you just told me, her story sounds so much more appealing than Rey's.
She's a Togruta.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, and really, Ahsoka's story is. It goes on the front and the back. Oh. She looks like a pharaoh. Her story is really what Rey, if you put the two together, Ahsoka's story is the real story, because she starts out as, and when she came on the first time, when she's introduced, she horrible, oh yeah, Like, you just hate her because she's annoying. You know, I mean, she's young. She's like 13 years old. And so she's annoying. She says stupid things. And then as you watch her grow over the series, she learns and she develops and she understands, right? And then by the time at the end, you really like her. And then when this whole arc of her being accused, it's like you really understand what she's gone through to get to this point. And then in the Rebels, she's a full, mature force wielder, you know. And I don't know if she's a gray Jedi. I don't think she is. But she wouldn't consider herself a Jedi.
That'd be kind of cool to see her become that. I wish her line, like, she had a kid, and then that would take the place of Rey.
Well, the problem with Rey is, I think that...
What? So who should relate to Skywalker?
I'm not going to tell you.
Come on.
No.
I'm just...
But I think the problem with Rey is it took 3 episodes. 3 episodes to do it, right?
To tell us what...
Yeah, what she is.
Which is a little ridiculous.
That's why I say, if like you cut the last one in half, right, and do 2 movies, you would have got that, okay, this is who she is, and this is why, right? This is why she's so powerful. Because she is. And it makes sense in the third one why she is so powerful, you know, because of where she comes from. But that doesn't make sense in 2 or in 8, right? Because there's no satisfying conclusion. And you could have done both, like where Kylo Ren's like, your parents were nobodies. Like, you could have done that, and the answer gives you in 9 in the same movie. You just have it at the beginning. Kylo Ren's like, yeah, your parents are nobody. And then you find out at the end, it's like, oh my gosh, like, no, her parents might have been nobodies, but her lineage is somebody, right? And it makes perfect sense why she's so powerful, why she accesses the Force so easily, you know, because there's a beautiful, not beautiful, but a fantastic scene where she just accesses the Force, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, and then once you find out who she is, you go, whoa, crap, like that to me is good.
Can I... Don't say yes or no.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Okay.
She is related to Darth Plagueis.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Is that a yes?
You told me yes.
I know. I guess I'm just... Even though I'm not like I hate the new films. Mm-hmm. It's just that curiosity of just wondering how this is going to turn out. And it's like, you don't know for 2 films. You're finally going to get it from this third one. And you just want to know already.
Right.
You know, that's what I want to know. Is like, who is she? Who's, like, where is she from? You know, all these questions about her. So.
Right. And you get those answers in the third film.
No, not Darth Plagueis. Darth Sidious.
That'd be interesting.
Is all my answers going to be, that's interesting?
Yeah. But seriously, like,
because you hear his voice in the background, you know, but I feel like that's because she was born from a Sith, not maybe born from her lineage was like so far back, you know, that she was able to go ahead, you know, that she was able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would have been pretty cool. And then you still hear Darth Sidious, like, it's still kind of like, you know. But yeah, I don't know. That would be kind of cool. Do they? You can answer me this. Do they make reference to the Grey Jedi in this film?
No, and I think that's a missed opportunity.
Why? That was supposed to be. That was the biggest talk when 7 was going to come out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's. I think that's one of the biggest misses of this new trilogy is to have the Grey Jedi. Like, to me, that's what it would have been great if, like, say, Luke was trying to build the original Jedi Order, and then what happened with Kylo happened, and then he realizes, oh no, like, I was trying to do the sins of the past, and the reality is the you can't do that. You can't have a fully dark side and a fully light side. You have to have this balance, because that's what they did in Rebels. They have the Bendu or something, and he talks about how he's the middle, right? He's neither light nor dark. He is in the middle. In the Clone Wars, they talk about how Anakin was supposed to be the balancer between the light and the dark, and so this balance point, right? In the Last Jedi, Snoke talks about how when one side rises, the Force creates something to match it. And so this idea that, no, when you are in balance, then the Force is in balance. You don't need Sith or Jedi. You have the gray. And that should be what Force users are. But they didn't go that direction. I think that was the detriment. They built all this lore to focus on it, and then they just said, nah. You know?
You think the new series will have it if they make a new one?
I think they're going to take a while off just to be like, okay, we're going to focus on things that are working. So like The Mandalorian, people love. And you know why I think it is? I think the reason why people love it is because...
it detaches from...
No, I think it's because of one of the creators.
Excuse me.
Let me see if I can find his name. Dave Filoni.
Oh, you told me that before.
Yeah, I think Dave Filoni is the one that really understands the world and understands what, it's kind of like he is Han Solo in The Force Awakens, where he's like, the Force doesn't work that way. Like Filoni says stuff like that, because he was mentored by Lucas, and so he understands Lucas's vision of this universe. Where like Kathleen Kennedy, I don't think she was more of the I want to say something here. I want to use this as a platform for other outside things, and that's why Filoni was relegated to the animated world, because he knew that world really well, and
he did the animated.
Yeah. So he did the Clone Wars. He did the Rebels. He's starting to work on The Mandalorian now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's one of the directors and one of the creative forces behind it. So I think that's what it is.
Go ahead.
That's why Clone Wars was so good. That's why Rebels was so well received. Because he understood what was needed in those things.
Mm. You said his name is Adam Filoni?
No, Dave.
Dave Filoni?
Yeah.
Do you think he likes bologna?
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, man. Like all I was thinking was like Dave Bologna.
Yeah. And then Jon Favreau. I don't know if you know him. He did some MCU movies. He is happy in the MCU. So if you here, let me pull up a picture of him for you. But he's a pretty good director.
Mm-hmm. He's happy where the universe left.
Well, I think he is. He's the type of guy that is a Star Wars guy. Like he, this guy.
Oh, he's happy where Star Wars left off. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he likes like the Dave Filoni type of Star Wars, not the Kathleen Kennedy type of Star Wars.
I thought you were talking about Marvel for a second.
No, so he's more involved with that, and so there are talks of him becoming the kind of lead in the Star Wars universe, and having Dave Filoni kind of be like the head of story, and doing all that. So,
I'm excited for the new anime. How is the CGI and how was everything?
I thought it was pretty good. They had the CGI of Leia, and I thought they did well.
Oh, okay.
Well enough to be like, okay, yeah, that passes, right?
They have to.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You know?
So no, they did. So they did pretty good for that.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like a lot of the scenes, like I don't know if the Millennium Falcon,
that
but
stuff.
it's flying through. It's explosions, everything. It's just
it's good.
So what I'm excited for is when they come out with episode 1 of this new saga.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole new story. I'll be really excited for when that comes out.
I think what they need to do is go back to the old Republic. Like
there was talk of that.
Yeah, I know. I think that's what they should do. They should go way back, 1,000 years, and get more of the Sith Wars or that type of.
What sucks is you're building up all this past stuff with a crappy ending.
I agree, but
that's cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but the problem with the way they left it off is it's almost where the Return of the Jedi was left off. You
don't like Return of the Jedi?
No. I'm not saying I don't. No, I'm saying that the way. So it's almost like when they rebooted it, not rebooted, but they continued the saga. Mm-hmm. They had to make up this whole thing about what happened.
Right.
They'll have to do that same thing at the end for the next series if they continue to go into the future.
Right. Okay.
And it comes to a conclusion, like all this buildup comes to this conclusion, and I wish they wouldn't. Okay. So I think that this movie could be cut up into 2 movies and be satisfactory for this trilogy. By saying that, I'm saying for this trilogy. I would have rather they just taken this whole trilogy, thrown it away, and done something with the original cast, right? And then almost like they stumble upon Rey, and now they're figuring out who Rey is, right? It's the 3 original trying to figure out who Rey is, and then continue, and they could end the same way, but then it's like, oh my goodness. But I don't like how it ended with how they had to end it, because Abrams was trying to bring things, so it's like, okay, this has to be satisfying. People are going to be satisfied with this, right? And I think that makes the previous trilogy kind of what happens in that kind of mute because of what happens here. But at the same time, it could have been done really well and giving you a really satisfying conclusion. But my question is, what happens to, because one of the greatest things about Star Wars is the Jedi versus the Sith, right? Mm-hmm. It's these lightsaber battles and all this stuff. So the question after this becomes, okay, how do you do Star Wars without that? It would be like Rogue One, right? Mm. But even in there, you had Darth Vader, and that
then you're just filling the potholes up in the rest of the series. Then, if you have no Sith left to fight.
Right, you have to.
Then what else is there to go?
It's just it's like fantasy Star Trek at that point.
Yeah, that's just you just go to a TV show then.
Right, that's why I'm like, go back in time.
No, I know. It's just I hate knowing what will come out in the end. What finishes it all, But that would be cool, and I heard some people wanting Keanu Reeves
to do one. Too.
Yeah, that'd be kind of. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah.
This is how the Force works. Whoa.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So, well, you got anything else, man?
No, I'm good. I'm bleeding.
Oh, what'd you do?
Oh, I just cut my finger for some reason.
So I guess next week you'll probably see a live video of us heading up to see the new Star Wars film.
Yep. And spoiler review.
Yeah, spoiler review.
3 weeks late.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you guys like the video, hit the subscribe button. And if you guys want to kind of keep up to date on when we upload videos, hit the bell so you guys will be notified when we go ahead and upload a new one. Leave a comment in the comments section below if you guys have any questions, if you guys like a topic for us to discuss in the future. And I guess with that, we'll end it here. You guys have a good one.
All right. Good night.
Good night.